One of the best parts about being an artist is each and every time you get to release new music to the world or announce a tour to the world, because let's face it, releasing music and going and performing it, they're up there with the greatest things ever if you're a musician. So today I want to talk about the time in which we spend telling people that this music is out or this tour is going to happen. Quite often I see bands, in fact, more often than not, I see bands and artists announcing their new music or their tour and doing a really good job of that for a day or maybe two. They'll change all the images on their social media, they'll write a bunch of posts and updates or whatnot in that day and maybe the day after. And hopefully they've sent a bit of a press release out to some people and have perhaps invited some radio peeps to listen to the music as well. That's all great stuff, but the issue I want to talk about today is the fact that that stops about a day or two after the release itself or the announcement of the tour itself. It hurts me deeply when that happens. Like, I'm talking deep. Every time I see that, it hurts me deeply. There's two reasons I want to talk about There's two reasons I want to talk today about why it hurts me so deeply. One is that your fans and the people following you are going to actually extend you an arm's length of grace. And by that, I mean, if you scream and shout from the rooftops about this release or announcement for 2 to 3 weeks, and people see that multiple times in its different forms, they're going to be cool with that. They're not going to click unfollow. They're not going to think you're annoying them, because that's our greatest fear. We don't want to annoy people. We don't want people to get sick and tired of our message about our music, because we're fearful that if we annoy them, they're not going to listen to the music. But I want to challenge you with this. If you don't promote your music or your tour for like 2 to 3 weeks of loud promotion, they're not going to listen to your music anyway. You're only going to get a very small percentage of people that are actually going to click that first link on the first announcement. You got to keep pumping it out. And I say this because human nature takes over. When we see something, when we see information come at us, human nature takes over, and we quite often just go, I'll get to that later. If it's your music, I don't want that to be the get to that later kind of thing. So generally in marketing, and this is the second reason why this whole thing kind of hurts me really deeply, is that in marketing, the general rule of thumb is that someone has to see a message 7 times before they act on it. Some people say less, some people say many more. But generally speaking, that's what people say. It's like, so you have to see something 7 times before, or a message that is, 7 times before you actually have a chance to engage with it and act on it. So if you're not promoting your music or your tour announcement at least 7 times, then chances are people aren't going to engage with it anyway. And that sucks. That really sucks. You put a lot of time and energy and effort into this thing and a lot of passion, and to essentially throw it away with a couple of announcements is absolutely horrible. So spend 2 to 3 weeks loudly announcing your music. Don't be ashamed. Scream and shout it from the rooftops, like I said earlier, because you have to. Otherwise, people aren't going to get on board.